Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Dev, where today we continue working on our mini Plants vs. Zombies project. And last time we started work on the plants using a combination of methods we've tried in the past. With a mixture of structs and objects, we managed to add plant placement, the projectiles they fire, and a tick system that lets those plants fire those projectiles. It was a very solid first step into familiar yet different territory. Territory we continue working on with today's plan. Today we'll start work on the non-plant related entities. We'll first start work on the zombies so we can start focusing on functions to handle collisions and other interactions amongst objects. We'll also add the lawnmowers, which will have their own unique interactivities with the zombie units. Now that sounds like a plan, so let's get to the coding. First up was creating our zombies, starting with a zombie doodle, once again very mini in size. A timer for zombie spawns was then added to the tick code, and much like plants, we're only using zombie objects for their collision properties. In fact, using our system, there's very little difference between zombies and plants. So much so that I could use the same plant constructor and simply apply their creation to a list for zombies. The numbers took some tweaking due to, again, the mini nature of the project, but eventually we had zombies moving from right to left at a reasonable zombie-like pace. So back in the code, I added a hurt zombie function that's similar to the one used for the plants. And because there's no easy way to find a struct based on value, we needed a function to do the work for us. So a universal find function was created that would search the appropriate list for the ID of the target object, and return its position in said list. These functions were then added to the collision event for projectile to zombie, with the projectile finding the zombie struct via ID, removing a point of HP from the zombie, and then finally returning to the pool. Thankfully, all that hard work paid off, with zombies now being able to take damage from plant projectiles. And so with our plants now able to fend off zombies, we needed to add the last line of defense, the lawnmowers. A lawnmower sprite was doodled up, and a new lawnmower object was created. Mowers were given their own object due to their behavior, which would be broken down into a couple states. In its default state, a collision line check would be made, and once a zombie crosses that line, the mower is placed into its second state, where it moves right until off screen. And of course, any zombies in the way during that state are destroyed. Then, using our find function, zombies would delete their struct entries as they are destroyed. And with that, once again, thanks to just the collision code, we were able to create functioning mowers that work just like they do in Plants vs. Zombies. And it's technically the only entity so far not controlled by the ticker, but that may change in the future. And I know what some of y'all are thinking, yes, this is in fact an overcomplicated way to build a Plants vs. Zombies clone. There is absolutely no logical reason to get this crazy with something so simple. But again, I have to stress that I'm looking to practice using structs for one thing, and also I like that our system, mowers aside of course, does not function solely on objects. By using objects more as puppets in this project, we guarantee that should an object go haywire for, whatever reason, the data for that object remains intact. Look, I don't know, it's like starting a run of Dark Souls as the Deprived class, No real reason to it other than, you want to add a bit of spice to the experience. Anyway, with that brings us to the end of today's episode of Let's Dev. So leave a like if you enjoyed the episode, subscribe and turn on notifications if you haven't already, and leave your thoughts on our progress in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.